Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Kirby. This is not a day in the life of a mobile mechanic, but just one job. And today we've got this Mercedes Sprinter for a very common job, which is an inlet manifold. Now, another garage has already diagnosed this, and apparently it needed a specialist. So here I am. Trying that. Yeah, so we've got a genuine Mercedes inlet manifold and gaskets. Might stick the computer on just to check the fault codes, but you know, another garage has already diagnosed it and this is what the customer wants. So we're just going to delve into it, and there's just a lot of things to remove first. So we'll take this box out of the way, which is for the cabin air box. We've got the EGR down there, EGR cooler, throttle body, loads of brackets at the back, so I'll show you as we go along. So with the air box off and that box there off, you can see a lot more now what we've got to take off, and it is buried right under there. So yeah, quite a few bits more to come off. So we're just going to start removing stuff out of the way. So just removing this sort of vacuum chamber that sits on top of here. You've got one hose that goes up there, and then you've got three down here, and I always just mark them with a pen and take a picture just so you know where it all goes back. Right, so just taking this pipe off of the EGR. Just how dirty that is. So we'll give that a clean up whilst we're in there. But yeah, there's a couple of bolts there, a couple of bolts there, that comes off. Right, before I get too far ahead of myself, I'll just show you what I've taken out. So there's a little plate that goes down there. Which is this thing here. So just got that out of the way. The little actuator on top of the EGR, that just goes there, that's out of the way. There's a little plate that goes across here, which is that thing there. Taking the fuel filter out, started taking these bolts out. I think there's another bolt for this little plate, possibly, just so this whole EGR cooler can come out. And then there are two bolts back here, one there and one underneath. And then I think that old EGR and EGR cooler comes out then, I believe. There's one bolt under there, and I think maybe an electrical connection. I think that's ready to come out, and then we'll have a lot more space. Yeah, and that is literally it. And then there we go, start seeing it now. You can start seeing all the gunk that's been leaking from that manifold, I think. Next, fuel filter housing out. That also has coolant running through it, weird design. Then the throttle body stuff off, and we're pretty much there. Right, we are making progress. So fuel filter housing is out, and if you haven't seen one of these before on these Mercs, so the fuel filter goes in there, and you've got coolant running through it as well. These are very common to leak as well, so we've got a new seal there. And you can see just all the carbon build up there now. Got to get this little hose out of the way, detach the throttle body elbow, I'm going to say. Now it's been quite a few years since I've done one of these. I went for a little patch of doing about 3 or 4 in, you know, a space of a few months. I haven't done one since. Yeah, the first time I ever done one, or knew about these bolts cracking, was on my old Sprinter, and had a loss of boost, and smoke tested it, done all sorts of checks, couldn't find the issue. Yeah, and then someone mentioned about the bolt breaking. I said, oh, I've smoke tested it, it weren't smoking. And yeah, I thought, got to give it a go, and sure enough, the bolt was broken. So that's how I know about these. But there's also, I have also replaced an inlet manifold when I suspected the same thing, and it didn't fix it. And then apparently it went into Merc, and they drill this cross piece, I think, or somewhere along there. Yeah, and that was all they do, they just drill it. because there's like a one-way valve in there or something. Something along them lines. Anyway, let's get the rest of this out and I'll show you once it's out. Right, every single bolt is out now, apart from one at the bottom. I loosened it, but obviously didn't loosen it enough, and it's just very difficult to try and get to. And I wound it out, but it must be on still by a thread or two. Very frustrating. But I've been disturbed because I've got myself a nice little Deliveroo, little Nando's. So I'm going to have that. About halfway through the job now. Oh, and the bolt hasn't broken. The bolt was still tight. So yeah, I'm not quite sure. It might just be a split manifold itself. So we'll have a look once it's out. There we go. One manifold out. And if we have a look at it, that's the bolt that normally snaps, I believe. But if you have a look closely on the seal, it's all just a bit squashed up, and parts of it are quite hard. So yeah, it's probably just, I mean, you can see it there, all the carbon just getting past that seal a little bit there. Absolutely knackered. But we're gonna have to get all of that cleaned up, because look how dirty that is. We can't put a new seal on that. And I've got to do at some point on my van this oil cooler, and it comes with the whole oil filter housing and all that. So yeah, I've just been putting that off for a little while, but it looks like I'll be having an inlet manifold as well for all the work that you've got to go through. As Sam at SPR Autos, he's a Mercedes specialist on YouTube. If you haven't seen him, go check him out. As he says, whilst you're in there, you might as well replace bits, because you don't want to do the job more than once, you know. Replace all the seals, anything that's common, just get it done. So yeah, let's clean this up, get it all back together. Time is now 10 to 1. I started this at about 10, had a little break, so we're on time. Alright, there we go, all cleaned up. It's as best I'm going to get it. I'm not going into the actual cylinders towards there and getting any of that crap out, because I don't want to disturb any of the carbon. But yeah, the face is all flat and cleaned up. Maybe just give it a bit of a clean up here, but other than that, it's all ready to go back in. Right, just about to put the throttle body back on, and look at that. Right, as you can see, it's running. It's all back together. I did have a little bit of a scare because I turned it over and it cranked a few times and just, I don't know, it just cut off, and it just seemed like, I don't know, something weren't right. And put the jump pack on, it was still just turning over once or twice, but really sort of clumsy, like that's the word I would sort of use. But yeah, it's fired up and running now, so I've just got to put my tools away and go for a quick drive, see if we've cured the fault. Right, that is me done for the day. I'm absolutely filthy. So I'll just explain. I finished that Sprinter, and I've just done a set of brakes on the way home, and God, blimey, I've earned my money today. So yeah, finished up that Sprinter. Went to turn it on, it cranked really well, wouldn't fire because I've had the fuel lines off. Then I stopped it, went to crank it again, and it kind of just sort of, it went bang, and then it was just really slow turning over, like it wanted to turn. So I thought, oh, it's been sat around for a few weeks, I'll put the jump leads on it. Still was doing the same thing, put a bit of squirt down the intake, it would fire, and then it seemed like it was just locking up, and I thought, oh, I did put some towel down where the intake pipe comes in. I thought, oh, did I get it all out? That was okay. It fired up eventually with a bit of brake cleaner, and it ran fine. I've test drove it. All the power's back, because he said it weren't going up hills, but this would absolutely fly up the hills. But he said halfway, when I got the inlet manifold out, he said, oh, it's making a bit of a whistling sound. Anyway, sure enough, when I test drove it, initially it was whistling and I thought, oh, that sounds like an exhaust leak to me. Got back, and by the time I got back, it heated up and it weren't whistling anymore, but there was a broken stud on the exhaust manifold. Now, when I got this job come through, I was told it needs a manifold. I just assumed it was an inlet manifold, but yeah, they're really common for inlet manifolds on them. So yeah, that's what I put on it, and I think it was definitely what was needed. And like I said, stopped off, done a bit of breaks. My holiday has done me the world of good. I'm hungry and eager to work again, whereas before I was just like doing enough to get by and pay the bills basically. But yeah, I'm hungry for it now. Yeah, and that's it. Hope you've all enjoyed this little video. I've got filthy. I've quite enjoyed that job. Beats servicing and doing brakes all day, that's for sure. But yeah, if you've enjoyed this sort of content, please do follow or subscribe. God, you can tell I ain't done this for a while. Please do leave me a comment, like the video, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you on the next one.